Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to picturesque Kiwitea Street as we bring you live coverage of Auckland City FC against Western Springs in the Northern League Clash top of the table match. I had a chance to catch up with both coaches just prior to kickoff. Let's see what they had to say. Chris, a tough game today. What are you expecting from your team?
Well, hopefully, obviously, we've got to bounce back from last week's result, but what a great game to come and bounce back to. So, yeah, the boys are really excited. I'm excited, and hopefully it'll be an entertaining game. All
Whites coach Danny Hay spent some time with your players. What sort of effect did that have during the week?
Yeah, look, it was just a matter of me asking Danny to come in and work on a couple of things that I thought the boys could improve on. Hopefully we'll see that out there today. But yeah, no, we've got a very young side, and what a great test for them.
Jose, a top of the table clash today with Western Springs. What are you expecting?
Yeah, expecting a tough game. Springs, obviously, they had a slip up last week. They've been on a great run. I'm sure Chris will have them, fired up and ready to go. And obviously Chris himself and a couple of players have some ties here to Kiwitea Street, so it's added motivation for them to come out strong. So yeah, look, expecting a tough test today.
Brian Keltack makes his 50th appearance for the club. That's a very big milestone for him personally.
Yeah, huge. And look, Brian's been a linchpin of this team for the last few years, and I think since arriving to now, the way he's developed and matured, and not only being a high performer, becoming one of those leaders, and really leading by example. So yeah, look, delighted for him to reach that milestone today.
Auckland City FC coach Jose Figueira has named a strong side for today's game. Emiliano Tade back in the lineup and also skipper for today, while Vanuatu international defender Brian Keltack has a big occasion to celebrate. This is his 50th appearance for the Navy Blues since he signed for the club in 2018. Former All-White skipper Chris Zoricic has got a strong side to name today, led by Dane Schnell, the former New Zealand age group international. Josh Margits is also an important figure, while former All-Whites cap Kane Vincent will be expected to score the goals for Springs. The match officials are led by referee Ashley Wilson. The assistant referees are Yunji Diao and Beth Rattray. The pitch is in excellent condition. The conditions themselves are conducive to good football. Let's go to the action. Previously, in a friendly game back in August of 2014, that match finishing 3-0 to Auckland City FC on a strange night that saw then Auckland City FC striker João Moreira make his debut for the club. It seems as though it was only yesterday. There is, of course, a strong link between Western Springs and Auckland City FC. A number of players have worn the navy blue and the green and white hoop shirts of both clubs. Maya Bevan, the most recent of those, the all-white striker now playing his football professionally in South Africa. He scored 17 goals in 20 ISPS Handa Premiership and OFC Champions League games for Auckland City FC, but I think he will tell you that the club closest to his heart is perhaps Western Springs, where he spent most of his key developmental years. Other names to feature in the story of these two clubs, Chris Bale, of course, the former Waitakere United midfielder, played for both teams. Adam Dickinson is another, and one name that will mean quite a lot to Western Springs supporters, that of Liam Mulrooney. He was the first player to lift the OFC Club Championship title in the colours of Auckland City, but he made a massive impression during his time at Western Springs as both a player and as an assistant coach. The most latterly told story, of course, is that of Kane Vincent, who played his summer football here. He made 6 appearances after signing for Auckland City FC from professional football in Thailand. He made 6 appearances, no goals for him, but he has been amongst the goals for Western Springs in the Northern League, making a very powerful partnership with Sam Margits, who was on target twice in last week's defeat to Melville United at Gower Park. Western Springs, up until that point, were on one of their best runs of form since 2019, where they strung together a 10-game unbeaten run. that lasted between April the 19th, 2019 and ended in late May. They managed to beat Hamilton Wanderers by 5-2, and in the Chatham Cup the following week they were beaten 5-0 by Birkenhead United. Chris Zoricic, of course, the former All Whites captain, led the All Whites at the FIFA Confederations Cup in 1999. Looking for a response from his team after last week's defeat in Hamilton. Western Springs are a side that's very capable of scoring goals, but as we saw last week, conceding 5 away from home suggests that there is some work to be done. For Auckland City, it's quite a different approach today. Mario Billen on the ball here came out and said last week that he felt that Auckland City didn't deliver a very good performance in the first half hour against West Coast Rangers. That was a game they won by 4-0. They scored a very early goal, courtesy of Addison Stewart, but they struggled thereafter. Speaking of which, these two clubs met at under-23 level at lunchtime today across town in Te Atatu. That game finished Auckland City FC 4, Western Springs 0. 2 goals for Addison Stewart, who's in great form. Dempsey Thomas and Christoph Muller were the other goal scorers for Auckland. Interesting tie-in for that game, of course, is that assistant coach Mauri Wazi was in the dugout for Western Springs. He's now been able to rejoin Chris Zoricic in the Western Springs dugout. Well, Springs have had some very good form of late. They beat Birkenhead 2-0, Eastern Suburbs 2-1, North Shore United by 3-2, and then, of course, a really big win over West Coast Rangers at Fred Taylor Park back on the 27th of March. They won that game 5-1. Sam Marget's on target twice. Dane Schnell, the skipper, with a goal, and Kaya Rangihiata scored a brace off the bench. Here's Josh Margetts. Daniel Drake, another player who's played at Kiwitea Street before, but more latterly with Eastern Suburbs. That's a very good ball forward. Interception from Jordan Vale. Very persistent pressing from Western Springs. Now Kilcolly. Tade launches one forward, trying to get him behind Zach Zoricic. Here's Mohamed Awad. Tade. Good skill shown by Tade for Billen. Cuts inside. Billen spots running behind Zach Zoricic from Mohamed Awad, but Zoricic reads it well. Keltak. Sam Brotherton. Reed Drake. Here's Ilham Hamidi, who made his debut a couple of weeks ago against Hamilton Wanderers. He is one of the 2 under-20 players in Navy Blue this afternoon. The other, of course, is Aidan Carey, who's in the middle of midfield with Reed Drake today. Billen. Hamidi. Brotherton. Good work from him. Tade's found a pocket of space in midfield. Jordan Vale making a run down the right-hand side. Keeps it in, or does he? No. Loses his footing, and the pressure is off Western Springs for the moment. Vale. Headed forward by Sam Margetts. Picked up in midfield by Dane Schnell. Schnell has around 24 caps at age group level for New Zealand. Born in Durban. Well, Brian Keltak, 50 matches for Auckland City today. Finds Awad. Zach Zoricic giving chase. Picked off by Josh Margetts. Western Springs now have the impetus. Well, Schnell drifting into an offside position. Billen. Today is Mario Billen's 159th match for Auckland City FC. First played for the club in 2013. A former Croatia age group international who lists among his former teammates Luka Modric. Here's Billen again. Good ball forward for Brotherton. Hamidi has a look over the shoulder. He's got options to his right. Here's Awad. That's good work from Sam Margits. Oh, and here's a chance. Well, the flag was put up and then it was taken down. The shot on goal straight at the goalkeeper. Dawson Straffen was the player with the opportunity. Beth Rattray, the assistant referee on the far side, looked to raise a flag, then Margits down. Oh, and here's a chance to go down as a big chance for Western Springs. Put up. Hamidi comes short for Billen. Reed Drake back to Billen. Billen's looking for movement. Hamidi obliges. Reed Drake. Sam Margits trying to win the ball back for Western Springs. Oh, and uncharacteristic mistake from Sam Brotherton down that left-hand side. The All Whites defender signing for Auckland City just after the festive break. Hamidi. Straffen has missed the tackle. Hamidi cuts the ball back and not quite sure who that was for. Sam Margits gratefully receiving it. Good ball forward, well, it's not a good ball forward in fact, but you could see what the idea was. Oscar Brown was looking to try and connect with Kane Vincent. Vincent now 32 years of age. First played National League football in New Zealand for Waitakere United and also appeared in the OFC Champions League over a decade ago. He too is a player who's been in good form. He's picked up 5 or 6 goals. As Kilcolly whips this one around the corner for Awad, but he's overdone it. Well, a promising start to this match by Western Springs. Oscar Brown, Josh Margits. There's Brown again, and not quite on the same page. Quite often seen teams come to these Auckland City FC fixtures with an attacking intent, and the pattern of the game seems to follow that if Auckland City can absorb that pressure, that gaps and opportunities start to open up for them, and they've been able to pick teams off. We saw West Coast Rangers do that last week. Rangers, of course, bottom of the table and desperately seeking points, but they made good fist of it against Jose Figueira's team. You've really got to make your opportunities count. Here's Tade. He's gone an awful long way. He might size this up for a shot, and that's a goal. What a fine strike by Emiliano Tade. It's his 116th goal for Auckland City since signing for them in 2011. And I told you that you had to make your opportunities count, and Western Springs, who only moments ago had a good chance to take the lead, now find themselves 1-0 down. was a beautiful piece of skill from Tade. He picked it up in the middle of midfield. Western Springs backed off, and Tade finished with the right foot. Daniel Drake didn't have much of a chance to stop that. Well, there were yells there that maybe Tade was guilty of a high foot. Aiden Iqbal ducked his head into that one. It's a case of play continuing. Referee Ashley Wilson saw nothing wrong with it. Not so sure the Western Springs dugout was very happy. Billen. Auckland City showing tremendous patience in the build-up. Caltac. Now Western Springs looking to press. Here's Vale. Awad for Carey. Oh, he's gone a long way. He's past Iqbal. Lovely ball through to Kilcolly, who doesn't quite have the pace. He's managed to get it now. Great use of the body. Carey in for support. Tade short, Awad short. Game opened out towards Reed Drake. Now Vale. This is impressive from Auckland. Western Springs have got a lot of work to do here. Here's Awad. Cuts into the left foot. Now to the top of the box for Tade. A little give and go and gently struck into the hands of Daniel Drake. But that was a beautiful combination play from the home side that had Western Springs in trouble. I'm sure Daniel Drake was grateful that Mohammed Awad elected to go for accuracy and not power. Brotherton makes a run forward. Here's Hamidi. Played wide to Caltac. Lovely pass from Caltac to Brotherton. Hamidi keeps the run going. Good defending, however. It's Nico Steinmetz. Western Springs just have to hang on. They're under a lot of pressure, and Auckland City look in the mood. It's a complete contrast to the way they played in the first 30 minutes last week. As Tade releases Brotherton down that left-hand side, but again, Steinmetz with excellent defending. Reed Drake, Tade. That's a good ball for Awad. Western Springs in trouble. Awad back on the left foot. Oh, and I'm not quite sure what he was trying to achieve there. Angus Kilcolly had peeled to the far post. Here's Sam Margits. Schnell. Oh, good skill from Dane Schnell. Straffen. Sam Margits lets it go. Zorisic. Straffen, good period of pressure this from Western Springs, but they can't quite find the quality in the final ball into Kane Vincent. Western Springs treating the ball like a hot potato, but there was a lot to admire about the craft. They just perhaps rushed things with that final ball. And of course the consequence of that is that possession now is back with Auckland City, and we've already seen in the last 5-10 minutes or so just what type of mood they appear to be in. Mario Billen, Hamidi showed a bit too much of the ball to Josh Margits. Hoisted forward by Zach Zorisic. Hamidi again, Brotherton. Interception from Josh Margits, who played futsal for Auckland City incidentally in the Men's Super League. Great work from Angus Kilcolly, putting Western Springs under a lot of pressure. Here's Carey. Carey with some good play to bring Billen into the mix. Reed Drake. Caltac. That's a good ball by Caltac. Tade again getting away from Iqbal. Away by Zach Zoricic. Oh, it's over the top of Billen. This is a really good opportunity for Oscar Brown. And, oh yes, what a finish that is from Oscar Brown. Western Springs are... Oh! Auckland City caught out with a direct long ball over the top. There was still a lot for the youngster to do. And Auckland City, who were dominating proceedings, hit with a sucker punch. And Western Springs back in this game, one apiece. Well, there's an inquest going on amongst the Auckland City side. Clearly unhappy with the way they've been caught out there, but I'm sure teams around the Northern League will be looking at that with interest. Hamidi. The question is, how will both these sides react to that latest goal in this game? Springs activating their press. Carey under pressure from Straffen. Reed Drake. Carey. Well, with the long ball forward intended for Kilcolly. Away by Steinmetz. Kilcolly. That's good work from the Auckland City frontman. Here's Tade. What a pass that was. He's not happy with himself. It was intended for Mohamed Awad. Drake. Nice touch from Margits. It's under pressure here. He's going to have to offload it, and Tade's picked his pocket. Kilcolly not quite ready. Reed Drake. Good run down the right here by Jordan Vale. Awad. Carey. Everybody in a hoop shirt except Kane Vincent is back behind the ball. Awad has found a pocket of space to exploit. So too has Tade, too close with the final pass to Josh Margits. Here's Oscar Brown, the goal scorer, on the break. Reed Drake for company. Schnell, Vincent and Straffen have made it into the penalty box. And a chance for Sam Margits. Springs. Oh, great tempo to this game. Around about 18 minutes have elapsed. Auckland City FC 1, Western Springs 1. Emiliano Tade and Oscar Brown, the goal scorers for Auckland and West. Sam Margits. Clipped over the top for Vincent. And the header straight into the arms of his former teammate Cam Brown. Hamidi. Mario Billen picks out Drake. Billen content to drive the ball forward another couple of metres. Hamidi's found space just in behind Oscar Brown, but like Springs a moment ago, final pass into the top third, perhaps not at the quality it needed to be. Vale under pressure from Straffen. He's released Mohamed Awad, but there might be too much on it unless Awad can keep it in, which he has. Kukoli's at the far post. Tade's come short. Tries to go just inside Iqbal, who's managed to get enough of a touch on it to disrupt the attacking move. Here's Awad. Vale. Awad has now got space. Might whip in across here. No. Decides to opt for the conservative. And in doing so, new possibilities perhaps opening up. Carey. Keltak. Found the channel. Found Awad. Too close to Iqbal, who read that very well. Carey with a powerful tackle to win the ball back for Auckland City. Carey's got Brotherton to his left. He elected to cut back inside. There's the pass for Brotherton from Tade. And it's a good block by Josh Margits. Well, Western Springs have been up and down in the Premier Division and the First Division over the years. Here's a shot from Tade, and it's asked quite a big question of Daniel Drake, who did very well to get across and put it out for the corner. Western Springs have been around since 1989, and they've picked up 3 Northern League Division 2 titles, 1994, 1998, 2013, and 2 Northern League titles, Division 1 that is, 2014 and 17, as this corner goes in, and it's great defending from Josh Margits. It looked almost a stick on goal with Sam Brotherton running in. Big moment, very big moment. Western Springs survived it. That's a good bit of defending from Nico Steinmetz. He's up against an opponent that he's giving away a little bit in the physical stakes, and certainly in terms of height. Nice knock by Daniel Drake. This is a moment of promise for Western Springs. They've got numbers here on the left. Mohamed Awad is back providing some assistance. That's good defending from him. You don't normally associate work at this end of the pitch with Mohamed Awad. Very awkward ball, but Cam Brown has coped with it quite well under the circumstances. Here's Brown, Cam Brown that is. Well, straight down the throat of Mohamed Awad, but Springs have managed to win it. Awad. Keltak. Thought about knocking it forward. There was nothing in the channel for him. Hamidi with a heavy touch. Forward by Margits to Vincent. Billen getting involved. Now Schnell. Vale. Keltak. He's been around New Zealand football for a number of years. There was a spell with the Wellington Phoenix as a youngster that didn't come to full fruition in terms of a professional contract, but he has also played at Waterside Karori, Tasman United. Good move this from Auckland. Oh, and it was rather casual finish to the move from Awad. You could see what the idea was. He was seeking to play in Tade, who had made the late run in behind. Tade, Iqbal. Well played, Aiden Iqbal. Sam Margits. Well, it was rather casual again. We're seeing that from time to time from both teams. Here's Reed Drake. Give and go maybe with Angus Kilcolly. Cut back strikes Iqbal. Schnell, clipped by Hamidi. 5 forward for Western Springs. Aidan Carey going out to Sam Margits to shut him down. Margits, that's a decent ball in. Oh, and it's only as far as Stratford. Good shot and a fine save. A wonderfully improvised volley. And Cam Brown had to be very concentrated in the moment. It was hit straight at him in fairness, but even so. Margits, Josh Margits. Away by Brotherton for Kilcolly. Nico Steinmetz. Well, the one thing that you can say for Nico Steinmetz is that he's shown a lot of quality in his defending, and every time he's got in front and won balls, it's initiated an attack that Western Springs have looked dangerous on. It's always a pleasure for a coach to see a defender get in front of his opponent and win the ball, of course. But if you can give that added value of also hatching a move of attacking promise, then that's all to the good. Here's Steinmetz again, up against Kilcolly. He's lost sight of the ball. Kilcolly hasn't. Somehow that stays in. Ricocheted off of Hamidi. Tade. There's a cutback. Awad. Oh, it's an absolute sitter. Goodness me. Well, sparing the blushes, there's an offside flag that has been put up. It was a lousy finish, you have to say. I'm sure Mohammed Awad will be relieved to know that it wouldn't have counted even if he had put it in. But he was all over the show there. Good win by Caltac. Margits forward for Schnell. Very well won by Schnell. Here's Brown. Sam Margits to his left. Might not need him. Oh, and straight at Cam Brown again. Well, Western Springs will be very happy. Well, Chris Zoricic and Maori Wazi will be very happy with what they've seen from their team so far. Hamidi. Well, shouts for a handball. It's being kept in. Play continues. Here's Kane Vincent, and that was a great run by Dane Schnell. Josh Margits. Aiden Iqbal. Nico Steinmetz. Daniel Drake. Launching it long again. Brotherton with a cushioned header. It's picked off by Oscar Brown. And it will be a goal kick. Half an hour gone at Kiwitea Street. Auckland City FC 1, Western Springs 1. Emiliano Tade scoring the opening goal in the game. And Oscar Brown levelling things around the 19-minute mark. Kilcolly. Offside again. Well, the timings of the goals. 9th minute for Emiliano Tade and 15th minute for Oscar Brown. Well, Western Springs have half a dozen players in and around the Auckland City FC penalty box, looking to win the ball back as quickly as they can and as close to Auckland City FC's goal as possible. Iqbal's header, Sam Marget's popping the ball forward for Kane Vincent. Kane Vincent's one and only All Whites cap came against Thailand under the former All Whites coach of the day, Anthony Hudson. Seems an awful long time ago. In fact, it was, I guess, 6 years. Well won by Schnell. Brown pops it forward. Good touch was required from Kane Vincent. He almost had it. Hamidi. Marget's nibbling away at Hamidi. Brotherton cuts inside. Kilcolly. A little give and go with Brotherton. Tade. Kilcolly under pressure from Brad Thomas. Caltac. Awad. Not a great touch from Jordan Vale, but he's won it back. Awad. Awad's away. Tade. Brotherton's made a run in behind, and that's good defending from Josh Margetts. You could see Sam Brotherton just looking to cut inside. Western Springs have become very narrow in that moment. Here's Sam Margetts. Brad Thomas. Daniel Drake just saying settle things down. No cause to force the issue. Goes along towards Sam Margetts. It's a valuable win by Jordan Vale against two opponents. Awad under pressure from Sam Margetts. Aidan Carey. That's a good pass, but it's asking maybe a lot of Awad, who's evaded the challenge and goes to the near post, and Angus Kilcolly restores Auckland City FC's lead with a clinical finish at the near post. And the home side lead by 2-1, and it's another goal for Angus Kilcolly and another goal for Auckland. Zach Sorosic tried to make the despairing interception and could only help the ball forward for Awad to latch onto. And Mohamed Awad kept his composure, kept his cool before applying a very thoughtfully considered near post ball that Angus Kilcolly finished with great aplomb. It's hard on Western Springs. They've been contributing quite a bit to this game, of course. Zorosic goes down under the gaze of Brian Caltac, and the referee saw nothing in it. Billen. That's a good header from Kilcolly. Auckland City skipper Emiliano Tade picks up the ball. Awad. Into Kilcolly. Reed Drake. Awad again, making a nuisance of himself. Western Springs again, very compact, very narrow in their defensive block. Billen. Hamidi. That's a lovely pass by Ilham Hamidi. Brotherton down the left. There's a cutback for Awad. Oh, lovely goal. Mohamed Awad with his 8th goal for Auckland City since joining them last summer. And if he had a nightmare with the earlier finish, he's come up with a precise high quality, geometrically perfect finish. Auckland City extend their lead by 2. They lead 3-1 now. And Western Springs finding out that 90 minutes against Auckland City at Kiwitea Street can be a tough shift. The next goal in this game is vitally important from a Springs perspective. They found a way forward through Oscar Brown on 15 minutes. If Auckland City get the next goal, you really wonder whether Springs will be able to come back from that. They showed a lot of character and courage in their match with Melville. Margaret's got 2 goals, Kane Vincent got another. On a day where Jama Boss, Lockie McIsaac, Ollie Valentine and Mo Reynolds scored for Melville. Sam Wilkinson's Melville, who are among the early pace setters in the Northern League. Of course, the race for a top 4 spot is starting to warm up as a pattern forms. Billen cuts out Aiden Iqbal. Tade's found space in behind the Western Springs midfield. He's been doing that very well this afternoon. Here's Vale. Awad to his right, might not need him. Good save by Daniel Drake. Utterly superb save. And he's saying there, look, you need to go out to Vale and try and cut down that space that he's operating in. If Vale had hit it any harder, then I think Daniel Drake would have been in big trouble, but it's a fine save nonetheless. Corner taken, goes to the far post. Well, the ball bouncing in. Springs can't quite get it clear, but the offside flag comes to their support. Well, there are other games, of course, going on around the country in the Northern League. Auckland United at home to West Coast Rangers. Bay Olympic taking on Hamilton Wanderers at Olympic Park. Eastern Suburbs return to Medill's Farm where they host Birkenhead United. Manukau United at home to Northern Rovers. And Melville United hosting North Shore United at Gower Park in Hamilton. Meanwhile, at Kiwitea Street, Auckland City are on the attack again. I've got numbers in the box. Vale has 4 targets if he can hit one. Tade breaks to the top of the box. Awad in support in close quarters. He's taking on Zoricic. Vale under pressure from Iqbal. He's round 2 of them. The shot across. Daniel Drake hits the base of the post. So close to number 4. Springs hanging on by just a thread. Oh, offside flag up again. Well, can't be too much longer to half-time. Spillin keeps that ball away from Kane Vincent. Josh Margits picks it up. Here's Vincent again. Brown. Well, he's got his ball across to Sam Margits, but Mohamed Awad again, more good defending from him. Good work from Kilcolly. Tade gets it out of his feet. Hamidi lets it run through to Brotherton. Brotherton can pick his cross here. Tade. Oh, and it was a very well thought out pass by Emiliano Tade, but Ilham Hamidi just wasn't quite on the same page. Hamidi again. Reed Drake. Aidan Carey. Caltac for Awad. Vale. Carey. Caltac for Tade, who again under pressure from Aidan Iqbal. Concedes the ball, but Western Springs are just struggling to get a hold of the football at the moment. Sam Margits will gratefully receive that from Mario Billen, but again, they don't hold on to it for long enough. And of course, if you don't have the ball, you're going to be running after it. And the expenditure of energy is going to take its toll on Western Springs, who have worked hard in the first half. 4 goals at Kiwitea Street so far. Brotherton. Tade. Well, that was a tight one, but again, Springs can't do anything with the ball. They've conceded it. Awad. He's got Tade to his left. It's opened up for the Auckland City skipper, who hit it first time against Steinmetz. Vale. Awad. Western Springs are getting worked around here brutally at the moment. Here's a shot from Awad, and good positioning by Daniel Drake, who understood exactly what Mohammed Awad was looking to do. You can tell for yourself how much he loves getting onto his left foot. Carey. Brown. Well, Cam Brown was one of a handful of players at Auckland City who were involved in New Zealand's under-23 Olympic campaign in Fiji. It seems a long time ago now, of course, with the effect of COVID on football. And the draw for the Olympic Games, of course, made earlier this week. We'll come back to that as Auckland tried to find a way through via Kilcolly. Away by Thomas. Good defending from Steinmetz. Well, the draw for the Men's Olympics football tournament saw New Zealand put in with the Korea Republic, Honduras and Romania as that ball's played over the top by Tade. Kilcolly surely must finish. Oh, and somehow has contrived to not even get that on target. It was teed up for him beautifully by the skipper, Emiliano Tade. Well, it was nicely taken down by Kane Vincent, but he couldn't hold on to it. Here's Brown, runs into Billen. Auckland City won't want to get sloppy before the break and concede another goal. Western Springs, of course, would gratefully accept that. Looks like there's an injury to Mario Billen. Doesn't look good. We can now take a look at the draw for the Women's Olympic football tournament. Group E, Japan, Canada, Great Britain and Chile. Group F, China, Brazil, Zambia, the Netherlands. Group G, Sweden, the United States, Australia and New Zealand. So with all the anticipation for the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 held in Australia and New Zealand, we have an Olympic tournament to look forward to where the two sides will clash. Top two teams from each section in the women's tournament advance to the quarterfinals, and they're joined by the two best third place teams. Sure, we're all looking forward to seeing some international football with a New Zealand interest. The Olympic football tournament scheduled for 21st of July to the 6th of August 2021. Of course, if you look in the media these days, they will often suggest that there is a potentiality for the tournament to be cancelled, but we've come so far with the draw now. I, personal opinion, think that's highly, highly unlikely. Something to whet the appetite, though. Well, we've had the 45 minutes. Auckland City currently operating with just 10 players. Aidan Carey's dropped into centre back, the position vacated by Mario Billen, but he is back on his feet and looks ready to rejoin the action. Awad loses out to Straffen. Well, given away far too easily by Straffen, but it's academic. Referee Ashley Wilson blows for half-time. Intriguing first half that Auckland City have dominated, and they lead Western Springs at half-time by 3-1. Welcome back, everybody. Half-time at Kiwitea Street. It's Auckland City FC who lead by 3-1. And some interesting scores from around the Northern League at half-time. Melville United and North Shore United were both goalless. Auckland United are leading West Coast Rangers by 3-1. Understand that at Olympic Park, Bay Olympic Trail, Hamilton Wanderers by 4-1. And Eastern Suburbs are 3-0 ahead against Birkenhead United. No news from Manukau United's match with Northern Rovers, but some very interesting scorelines to ponder this afternoon. Of course, there was some other interesting news in Northern League circles. Former All Whites coach, hero of the 1982 FIFA World Cup campaign, Kevin Fallon, is no longer in charge at Manukau. So the Centre Park Club have a lot to think about. Of course, Kevin Fallon did a tremendous job at United, getting them promoted from the First Division and deciding to stand down following their start to Northern League. We're just now awaiting the return of Western Springs. No sign of any changes for Auckland City FC. Western Springs have a lot of work to do in front of them. They were looking to try and hit Auckland City as hard as and as fast as possible in the top third, but as the first half wore on, whenever they got the ball, they were turning it over so frequently. They're spending large spells constantly defending, and Auckland City, if it were not for the performance of Daniel Drake, who made 2 exceptional saves, the scoreline might be very different. Not to suggest, though, that Western Springs didn't contribute to the first half. Of course they did. The goal by Oscar Brown was a superb finish. There were also a couple of saves for Cam Brown to make. One from Dawson Straffen with a left foot volley. It was straight at Cam Brown, but it was struck with such power and pace that there was still a job to be done by Brown. Western Springs bench looks like this. Finn Cochrane, Wade Maloney, Kenta Nakashima, Elliot Munford, the goalkeeper, and Fijian international Samuela Kautonga is also there. So there is tremendous depth and resource for Chris Zoricic to draw upon. As he goes in search of the next goal in this game, which is vitally important. I think if Auckland City get it, the result will be in the bag for them. But if Western Springs can cut the deficit, then we could be in for a very interesting afternoon. Caltech. Vale. Well, Auckland City trying to find a way forward, and foul by Kilcoley on Iqbal. Western Springs trying to play a high line when they don't have the ball. Here's Steinmetz. Looking for a channel ball forward. Opts to go long. Billen and Vincent both going for the same ball and missing it. Daniel Drake. Thomas. Steinmetz under pressure from Carey. Ilham Hamidi. Josh Margits. Iqbal. Schnell. Good first touch and a nice second touch as well. Promise in this move from Springs. Schnell for Zoricic, who's launched that the length of the half. Well, won by Josh Margits. Nice touch by Hamidi. He's under pressure here from Oscar Brown. He's done very well to get away from it. And Daniel Drake read that ball and launches it forward. Kane Vincent with an opportunity. Oh, and a good save by Cam Brown. Wonderful save by the goalkeeper. It was a delightful move. Well, it was a delightful touch. It was a very direct move, but it was a goal threat nonetheless. And we saw through Oscar Brown's goal in the first half just how deadly Western Springs can be when they decide to go direct. Very nervy moment for Auckland City there, but some dependable, reliable goalkeeping by Cam Brown. Drake. Brotherton. Well, Western Springs' next match in the Northern League is on May the 1st, and it's another tough match for them. They'll be taking on Auckland United. Oh, that's a great move by Brown, and a chance to pull one back. What a finish that is. Cool, calm, collected. And Western Springs have got the crucial next goal. It's 3-2. What a beautiful finish that was. A sweeping move that caught Auckland City out completely. And Dawson Straffen stayed concentrated, calm, composed. Knew that he had all the time in the world to pick his spot, but he still had to do it. And he completed that sweeping move to great credit. But here's Tade. Oh, what a response. What an absolutely stunning response. Less than a minute after Dawson Straffen had pulled one back, and Auckland City have put Western Springs back in their place. A second goal for Emiliano Tade. He thumped it home with the left foot. Goal number 117, arriving just 5 minutes after the restart. 2 goals in 5 minutes, in fact. And Auckland City FC lead Western Springs 4-2. Well, that must be a hammer blow for Western Springs, who must have felt that when Straffen scored that they were back in it, but they relaxed. And Auckland City showed, as they have done throughout the Northern League so far, that if you relax, they'll punish you. We saw it in the game with Manukau. We saw it again in the game between Auckland City and Hamilton Wanderers. Brotherton, Drake, Keltak, Vale. Keltak looking for width, finds it in Mario Billen. Brotherton. Well, you can see the good work done by Western Springs as they press this Auckland City FC defence. But the home side, generally speaking, very comfortable with that type of pressure. As you can see here, Brian Keltak looked to be in all sorts of bother with a miscue, and now he's found an outball through Hamidi. Reed Drake. Measured pass for Sam Brotherton. Hamidi kept his run going. First touch wasn't great. That touch was better. The 2 Margits for Western Springs getting back into shape nicely. Western Springs looking compact, trying to keep a high line. Billen spotted the run forward by Tade, checks back inside to Reed Drake. Brotherton. Billen, cut out by Iqbal. Hoisted forward by Carey. Now Brotherton for Hamidi. Iqbal again. Tade. Well, Aiden Iqbal's done well here. But again, Western Springs just struggling to make the most of the possession that they do get. Well, they face Auckland United at Seddon Fields on the weekend of May the 1st. Auckland City's next match is an away game at Allen Hill Stadium against North Shore United. Thomas. Zoricic. Clipped forward to Dane Schnell. That's not a great touch from him. Thomas does well to pick that one out, and Tade spotted Daniel Drake off his line. Oh, and just hit the outside netting. I tell you what, that was a glorious effort. Daniel Drake will be feeling mightily relieved. It's not the first time on Kiwitea Street Daniel Drake, of course, has taken risks like this. They caught him out in a gridlock derby match between Auckland City and Eastern Suburbs last season. And Tade has previous. You may well have seen Tade's goal from behind. Well, actually, it was a couple of metres inside an opponent's half for Central United in last season's NRFL Premier Division clash. More great skill from Tade, but he couldn't find Kilcolly. Thomas. Hayden Iqbal. Thomas spots a run forward by Dawson Straffen, who's past Keltack. Schnell to his right. He's picked out Oscar Brown. Give and go between Iqbal and Schnell. Straffen here on the left, straight across the face of goal. Kane Vincent had made the run into the 6-yard box. Well, just the way this game is unfolded today, you get the impression that Western Springs can still pick off a goal. Tade. Awad. Vale. Trying to find a way beyond Straffen. Well, that's a lovely ball and a good run by Vale. Clipped in carefully, only as far as Hamidi, who couldn't get the ball under. Now Schnell. Sam Margits. Good work from Hamidi. Good recovery from him. Well, you might be able to hear Chris Zoricic from the Western Springs bench saying that there's another goal in this for us. And he's asked his team to be brave in their search for that third goal. He can sense that there is a vulnerability in this Auckland City side that can be exploited. Hamidi, Tade, Kilcolly. Keltack. Oh, that was a terrible pass by Keltack. Well read by Zach Zoricic. Here's Straffen, and now Brown tries to pull one out. There's a shout for handball. The referee was in a good position to make a judgment call there. Here's Iqbal. Schnell's in the box, Brown's in the box, Vincent at the near post. Carey, carefully done. under pressure. Now Mohammed Awad, lovely first touch. Ilham Hamidi is to his left if he can spot him. He didn't keep his run going. Kilcolly tries to release the shot with the left foot. It's end-to-end stuff at the moment. Here's Sam Margits. Tries to go over the top of Billen, who inventively hooked it back over his head for Reed Drake. The space opening up everywhere in this game. 13 minutes of the second half played. Auckland City FC 4, Western Springs 2. Hamidi spots Tade, who's on a hat-trick. Iqbal stood tall and firm to prevent Tade from playing in wall pass to Mohammed Awad. Awad. Kilcolly. Vale. Well, just a bit too casual, Jordan Vale. Well, Western Springs were up against it today. They are up against an Auckland City side that hasn't lost at Kiwitea Street for 2 years and 1 month. Nicely played by Brotherton. I'll come back to that point in a moment. Here's Tade for Awad. Kilcolly has arrived at the penalty spot. Tade short for Awad. Carey. Vale. Awad. Well, Auckland City haven't lost on this ground since 2019, and that was in the ISPS Hander Premiership semi-finals to Team Wellington. Team Wellington came here and won 3-1. Auckland City have lost 5 games in that time in all competitions. There've been defeats to Tasman United, Hamilton Wanderers, Canterbury United, Team Wellington again, and Ace Magenta in the OC Champions League in Noumea on the 28th of April 2019. That is a total of 43 games since Auckland City were beaten on Kiwitea Street. 24th of March 2019. Of course, their last defeat was the ISPS Hander Premiership Grand Final against Team Wellington at QBE Stadium. Team Wellington winning that game 4-2. Drake tried to get through 2 challenges. Meady fouled by Iqbal. Meady took a sweet time about how quickly he played that ball. Picks up the free kick. Brotherton. Ilham Hamidi. Reed Drake. Mario Billen. Caltech spots a run forward by Reed Drake. Oh, and Tanyan Drake, his brother, awkwardly dealing with problem on the edge of the 18-yard box. What a moment that would have been had Reed Drake got the better of him. Daniel Drake recently married, of course. Billen. I'm sure there would have been banter flying in all directions had Reed got the better of Daniel in that moment. Well, Sam Margus has got the better of Auckland City here. Here's Kane Vincent looking for Oscar Brown. And this is why Chris Zoricic is going to be absolutely convinced that there's a goal here for his team, as Kane Vincent clatters into Aidan Carey and takes the yellow card, the first yellow card of this afternoon. Keltack, straight to Iqbal. Forward by Carey. Ball won by Zoricic, who caught Hamidi late, but Mohamed Awad has it now. He's running at Brad Thomas. The shot straight into the gloves of Daniel Drake. Brown, Brotherton, Drake for Billen, back to Cam Brown. Well, Chris Zoricic is showing a lot of frustration with his team. He's looking to press Auckland City as high up the pitch as he can in those moments, but just gets a feeling that maybe from his deeper lying midfield players that they're not pushing forwards as a unit. Billen, that's a great pass. Mohamed Awad has Jordan Vale wide on the right. This is Vale. Mohamed Awad keeps his run going. Angus Kilcolly arrives. Tade's at the top of the box. Shot straight at Daniel Drake again. Well, Auckland City have to do much better with the chances that they are getting. Brotherton. Vale. Josh Margits for Sam Margits. Hayden Iqbal. Brad Thomas. Well, I think Chris Zoricic is trying to get his team to make the most of the spell of possession. He wants to see them try and test Auckland City in the fullback area here on the left-hand side. Here's Zoricic. Oh, that wasn't a bad ball. And Straffen can't do much with the second pass he got. Well, the second deflection, really. Well, Auckland City about to make their first substitution of the afternoon. Mohamed Awad is about to be replaced. Dylan Manicum and Dre Vollenhoven, the two most likely choices. It's in fact Dylan Manicum, NZF Futsal Player of the Year last year. Well over 50 appearances for Auckland City, scored 19 goals. Caltech's pass helped on by Vale. Manningham first touch of the ball for him. Loses out to Straffen. Straffen needs help though. Arrives in the form of Nico Steinmetz. Josh Marget's pulling wide right here for Springs. Past Hamidi. Running through to goals. He's going to have to offload shortly. He does to Iqbal, but that was a very, very poor ball to give Aiden Iqbal. And now the pressure transfers back onto Western Springs. Kilcolly through, and that is a great tackle. Wonderful tackle by Nico Steinmetz. Offside flag has gone up. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but there was a lot to admire about the defending by Nico Steinmetz. He's had a good game this afternoon despite his side conceding 4 goals. He's a real fighter. It's a good ball by Billen. And good strength shown by Ilham Hamidi under pressure. Well, there's an injury to Josh Margetts right in front of the dugouts. Game stopped momentarily to allow Margetts to receive attention. .69 minutes gone at Kiwitea Street. Auckland City FC lead Western Springs by 4 goals to 2. Emiliano Tade, the Auckland City skipper, with 2. Mohamed Awad with 1, and Angus Kilcolly with 1. Dawson Straffen and Oscar Brown, the goal scorers for Western Springs. Plenty of intrigue left. I think if Western Springs can get the next goal, and we've been saying this, it seems, throughout the game, but if they can get the next goal, they could really set up a quite frantic finish here, because how Auckland City will cope with the scoreline at 4-3, it really means that Western Springs will have nothing to lose at all and can throw everything they've got at their opponents. As I said earlier, you could hear Chris Orisic imploring his players to try and test the Auckland City FC defence in the fullback areas, and demanded that they approach this game with bravery and courage, which I suppose is in a way going to spark that creativity that's necessary to test this Auckland City defence, which, by the way, hasn't kept a clean sheet in this league. They've managed to outscore opponents. Here's Caltech. That's a good run forward by Jordan Vale. Brad Thomas goes out to deal with the problem. Vale clipped in, headed away. Well, it seemed as if Kilcolly, Tade and Manningham all hit the near post. Manningham onto the right foot. Kilcolly. Well, got away with the first attempt to get through, not so much the second. Here's Reed Drake. Mario Billen. Hamidi. Aidan Carey, he went in full-blooded against Iqbal. He's picked up a free kick. Auckland City's players not happy with that. Carey should be okay to carry on. Well, Carey's still down. He's going to need some treatment. Just an update from Gower Park, the match between Melville United and North Shore United. It appears that Melville United are ahead by 1-0. Oh, Kerry's going off for treatment. Auckland City FC temporarily down to 10. Central League score update for you. Wellington Olympic 0, Napier City Rovers 1. Very interesting. The bulk of the Team Wellington side ended up at Miramar Rangers and Wellington Olympic. I would imagine that a lot of Hawke's Bay United players also ended up at Napier City Rovers as play continues here at Kiwitea Street. Sam Margits gives it straight back to Carey. Auckland back to a full complement. Drake. Carey. Nice turn under pressure from Brown. Good pressing work from Western Springs. Looking for an opportunity from their pressure, and they're going to get it here. Here's Dane Schnell. Straffen to his left. Schnell, well, he just held on to it slightly too long. Hamidi. Brotherton. Billen. Carey. Kilcolly looking for a ball over the top. He's looking to get him behind Nico Steinmetz. Tade given it away to Iqbal. Sam Margits now with space on the right-hand side. 3 targets in green and white. Here's Vincent. Oh, what a header off the post. Massive moment in this game potentially. Had that hit the back of the net, Western Springs were right back in this. Powerful header. Cam Brown had no chance, absolutely no chance. And the left-hand upright came to his rescue. Chris Zoricic telling his players, look, you're going to get your rewards. He was so right. That would have really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons in terms of this match. Substitution to report for you. For Western Springs, not sure who that is on our start list. The shirt numbers read 10, 7, 5, 3, 23, and a 24 has come on. Well, the change for Auckland City, I can provide accurately for you. Yusuf Al-Khalisi has come on from Ilham Hamidi. Here's Tade. Lobs it over the top and was looking for an infringement against Dylan Manicum in that move. Oh, good touch by Vincent, and Mario Billen was under all sorts of pressure. Every time Western Springs are coming forward now, there's a true threat on. .77 minutes gone at Kiwitea Street. Auckland City FC still lead Western Springs 4-2, but for the post coming to Auckland City's rescue, it would be 4-3. Here's Wade Maloney, cut out by Brotherton. Well, there's shouts for a foul on Wade Maloney, and perhaps with good causing credibility. Here's El Khaleesi. Play has continued. It's really end-to-end stuff. The match has opened up. Here's Reed Drake, straight into the arms of his brother. Tade, valuable touch. Khaleesi. Dylan Manicum. Carey. Manicum, he's got space to work in here. A couple of rollovers, he's gone all the way to the byline. Carey. El Khaleesi. Popped over the top for Reed Drake. Kilcolly, definitely a threat here. And now Manicum on the chest. Goes for the volley and completely misses the ball. Brotherton. Tade. Vale joins in. 2 in the penalty box for Auckland City, soon to be 4. Vale. Here's Tade, away bravely by Steinmetz. The shot from Dylan Manicum miscued and off target. 10 minutes to go. Can Western Springs find a way back into this game? They've been oh so very close. Kane Vincent's header on 75 minutes that bounced back off the post will perhaps leave Western Springs wondering what might have been. They've got the energy, they've definitely got the ability. Players like Oscar Brown and Sam Margits, Kane Vincent, Dane Schnell. Zorisic trying to find a way beyond Dylan Manicum. No foul given, and it's a goal kick. Brotherton. Under pressure from Sam Margits. Needs some help here. The game has become so spread out. The game's become so spread out that when players get on the ball, they're finding themselves quite some distance from a teammate. Jordan Vale's managed to find a way through 3 players there. A couple of tackles still going. Manicum, Brotherton to his left. Spots a run by Tade. Manicum, and a chance right across the face of goal. Angus Kilcolly, just a fraction of a second too late to arrive, but it was a true chance missed by the home side. Well won by Carey. Knocked forward for Schnell. Kilcolly. Reed Drake driving forward from midfield. Timely interception by Brad Thomas. Here's Wade Maloney. Has a lot of ISPS Hander Premiership experience from the past. Wade Maloney through his connections to the Waikato. Ball pop forward for Schnell. Thomas. Iqbal. Well, throw goes the way of Western Springs. Time starting to run out for Chris Zoricic's team. They need to grab a goal, and very soon. Vincent hauls it back. This is promising for Western Springs. Oh, what a goal! Lovely goal! Oscar Brown with his second of the match, and it's 4-3. You have to say, in all honesty, this goal was coming. Kane Vincent hitting the post. And 75 minutes, and Oscar Brown has cut the deficit once more to just a single strike. Six minutes of the regulation 90 to go. Can Auckland City hang on? The big question now being asked. Change for Auckland. DeAndre Vollenhoven is on for Angus Kilcolly. Western Springs, they can sense that there is a point in this for them. They're going to have to work very hard. Vollenhoven for Brotherton. Chris Zoricic on the edge of the technical area, urging his players on. Manikim, he's got the better of Steinmetz, who's recovering well. Vollenhoven making a run into the penalty box. Tade, Vollenhoven, well, they got in each other's way. Thomas trying to find a safe way out of the pressure he's under. Margits, Chris Zoricic on the sideline, urging the ball to be played forward by Western Springs as soon as it possibly can be. Ball won by Cochrane, now Maloney. You sense that Western Springs believe they can get something from this game. Here's Maloney. They let him go a long, long way. And he's won a corner. Mario Billen not happy with his teammates here. Massive, massive chance coming up for Springs. 5 minutes to go. Short corner taken. Aiden Iqbal into the box, away by Brian Keltak. Well, Auckland City have looked flat, and Western Springs have made them pay for it. You have to say, based on the last 15 to 20 minutes or so, if they do get a draw out of this, they will have deserved it. Oh, and that's given cheaply away by Brown. Manikim finds Vollenhoven, who shrugs off the challenge from Zach Zoricic. And then Vollenhoven just fired the ball into the back of Reed Drake's feet. Launch forward. Brotherton. El Khaleesi. Good step over by Brotherton, and Sam Margits in frustration concedes a free kick. Well, time's the enemy for Western Springs now. Three minutes of the regulation 90 to be played, plus whatever stoppages the referee decides to add on, of course. Tade. Vollenhoven. Won by Zoricic. Now Schnell. We've seen a couple of Western Springs opportunities come off balls that have been played direct, and it's those situations where Western Springs are coming out of a period of pressure. If they can go long and go direct and behind the fullbacks and centre halves, they might just get something. Here's Vincent. Schnell made a run just off Carey. He was available. Here's Keltak. Vollenhoven. Yusuf El Khaleesi. Tade. End-to-end stuff. Vollenhoven knocked over off the ball. Here's Tade. Checks inside. Here's Yusuf El Khaleesi taken off his foot just in the nick of time by Dane Schnell. Good into this one here at Kiwitea Street. Vale. Yusuf El Khaleesi. Western Springs are back in numbers. Keltack. Brown. Billen. Chris Zoricic urging his team forward. They must be desperately short of freshness, of course. They've put so much into the second half especially. Drake goes long. Keltack's underneath it. Helped on by Vincent. Away by Billen. Tade. Spots Vollenhoven with a lovely pass. Can Vollenhoven keep it in? Yes, he can. Work to do for Zoricic, Steinmetz and Thomas. Vollenhoven. Here's Reed Drake. Tade. Oh, and it took a deflection. It will be a corner. 1 minute to go. Auckland City staggering to the finish line. I tell you what, Western Springs can be immensely proud with the second half they've put in here. At 3-1 down, you just felt that if Auckland managed to get a fourth, that the game could seriously fall away from them. But they've shown a lot of courage and determination and self-belief to pull the situation back to 4-3. And they're still not out of it. If they can get a bit of luck, they might just come away with a draw. Steinmetz header clear. Mannequin for Billen. Keltack. Finn Cochran's there. Keltack just trying to manage this game out for his team on his 50th appearance. That is the 45 minutes played. Billen. Mannequin. Here's Reed Drake. Fancies a shot and drags it well wide. Doesn't test Daniel Drake. Substitution about to be made. Double substitution. So it looks like Zach Zoricic and Nico Steinmetz are both coming off. Samuela Kautonga is one of the players coming on for Western Springs. Oh no, it's only one substitution. Do beg your pardon. Steinmetz has gone to left back. Samuela Kautonga is at centre half. Long ball forward. Mannequin. Iqbal chasing, prodding, poking, trying to find a way to get that ball back for Western Springs. Tade. Vollenhoven. Tade again. Brotherton to his left. Tade tries to set up Mannequin. Vollenhoven's there. Tade well won by Aiden Iqbal. Great defending from him. We've had 1 minute of additional time. Of course, there's no fourth official in these Northern League games, so there's no board being presented to let us know how much additional time there will be. It's entirely discretionary on the part of the referee. Every second is precious for Western Springs. El Khaleesi, Vollenhoven, Kautonga got a foot in there. El Khaleesi straight to Iqbal. They need to get the ball forward. They need to get the ball in behind Auckland City. They've got something of a higher line than normal. Brotherton's forward. And that's given away cheaply. That takes the pressure off Auckland. Carey. Reed Drake. Dylan Mannequin spots Brotherton here on the left. Vollenhoven ahead of him. 2 minutes of additional time played. Auckland City don't have to force this. And offside. That's good officiating from Beth Rattray on that side. Dylan Mannequin coming back from an offside position. Daniel Drake launches it forward. Billen wins the header. Crucial that somebody in the Auckland City defence did so as Western Springs go in search of an equaliser. Good return pass from Tade. Good challenge, fair challenge by Kautonga. No doubt about it. Iqbal for Maloney. Well, header won by Billen. And neatly done by the 36-year-old. Brotherton. Mannequin. Vollenhoven. Tight ball to give Al Khaleesi, but that was a wonderful turn under pressure from Iqbal and Brown. Keltak. Al Khaleesi. Brotherton. Vollenhoven. He's got space here, you know. Tade. Well, it was sloppily given away. Iqbal finds Oscar Brown. That's a decent pass. Maloney against Vale. Well, Jordan Vale rather theatrically trying to fake Wade Maloney out of interest in that ball, but he wasn't giving that up under any circumstances. Referee checking his watch. Well, the quality of the game at times has perhaps not been brilliant, but it's certainly been entertaining. 7 goals here at Kiwitea Street. Full time at Gower Park. Melville United 1, North Shore United 0. Vincent for Maloney. Steinmetz is free on the right. Brotherton under pressure. Nice header from Steinmetz. Iqbal. 6 in the box for Western Springs, and they have a corner. We've had 5 minutes additional time. I'm not sure whether or not at home you can see a timer on the screen, but certainly since the teams came out, I make it 5 minutes. Sam Margits will take the corner. Big moment for Western Springs. Goes to the far post. Kautonga's under it. It's well won by Brotherton. Maloney's forward. So is Daniel Drake, by the way. He's well outside his box. He's in this opposition half as Steinmetz came in late. Couldn't make a clean connection. Well, Auckland United still going against West Coast Rangers. It's 4-1 to Auckland United. Bay Olympic have been thrashed by Hamilton Wanderers at home. Wanderers beating Bay Olympic 7-2. What a scoreline that is. Well won by Kautonga. Tade. Vollenhoven. Finds Tade, and the shot is deflected. And that is full time here at Kiwitea Street. What an entertaining game it was. 2 goals for Emiliano Tade, 1 for Angus Kilcolly, another for Mohamed Awad. Completed the scoring for Auckland City. For Western Springs, 2 goals for Oscar Brown, 1 for Stephen. I do beg your pardon, I'll find that name. Dawson Straffen, I do apologise. And the final score here at Kiwitea Street, Auckland City FC 4, Western Springs 3. On behalf of myself, Gordon Glenn Watson, and our small but committed team here, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.